Welcome to chapter 13 of Memoirs of an Opera. My name is Luke Kidgell, and welcome to Memoirs of a White Guy. This week, the instrument is my esophagus, because I forgot my instrument. I forgot about it. I went to hit play, and then I was like, I don't have an instrument. And then I was like, I've got an esophagus. Just bought the old throat to the podcast, and I was like, yeah, I'll give this a bash. I reckon that's what bands would do if they forget their instruments. Like, say the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like the next time they come to Australia, Flea just forgets his bass, and then they're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? And then they go, don't worry, man, I'll just cough it out. So they get up there and they're like, instead of like, they go, can't stop the coughing cause I feel sick. Something, don't know the lyrics. Man, I don't know the lyrics. Like, I do know the lyrics to Chili Peppers songs, but I don't know what they're about. What are you talking about, Anthony Kiedis? That guy's cooked on drugs, man. They're such a great band. They're one of my favourite bands of all time. But actually, that's a question this week in the podcast. What's your favourite band? I'm going to answer that later. But, yeah, man, the Chili Peppers, you can't understand what they're saying. I have no idea. I've listened to all their albums, back to front, and I no idea what their songs are about, but they're just good. They're good. Keep on doing you. Just less coughing, Anthony. So what's been going on this week? Oh, yes. I said last week, I was like, this week I'm going to be focusing on writing my show for next year's comedy festival, right? That was my big thing to do this week. And I did. I briefly focused on writing my show. And I was like, there won't be any videos. I still did a video. I was like, I won't do any gigs. I still did a gig. I just can't help myself because I'm like, oh, it's fun. I had the idea for the mannequin video, got all the fellas together with Lewis and Elliot, and we were like, yeah, let's just film it. And even though we're like 2 weeks later on that, that's the thing with that video. If you saw my mannequin video during the week, I thought of that mannequin challenge idea where we the mannequin dies and stuff 2 weeks ago, when the mannequin challenge was a thing. And then we just were like, can't be bothered to do it. Because it's just, I couldn't find a mannequin anywhere. And I was like, I just won't bother. And then I was like, I'll just do it anyway. Because then we organised stuff. And then we had to change it to the mannequin challenge is dead. And make that joke, or else it was just going to be really unrelevant. So lucky we did. That's the problem with all these challenges. I'm honestly surprised that the mannequin challenge lasted more than a week. I saw the first one I saw, and I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool, because I didn't know it was going to be like a fad. I was like, oh, these people are frozen for no reason. I like doing pointless shit for no reason. Respect. And then I saw another one, and I was like, it's planking. It's the ice bagger challenge again. No, what it was? It was the Running Man thing again. And then that Running Man thing, that's... You know what's the annoying part about these challenges? Now it is, you just pick a really catchy R&B song, and then you do some kind of either dance move, or in this case, no dance move over it. Boom, you've got a viral trend. That's how the internet works. It's like, oi man, have you got an R&B song that will annoy the shit out of me after 3 listens? Yeah, you do? Alright, well, let's do literally nothing and stand there. What do you mean, man? That's stupid. That's not going to take off. No, we'll call it a challenge. And everyone's like, challenge accepted. And then it goes viral. That's the internet. That sucks. You know what's genius, though? I think the guy who thought of the song, I think his name's Ray. The song for the mannequin challenge is called Black Beatles by Ray Sremurd or something. I don't know how to pronounce names. We all know that. I suck at pronouncing shit. Man, I called Peugeots, the car, the cars Peugeots? I called them Pugots. Pugots for years. And it's not until a school excursion I was complaining about a car in front of us. I was like, oh, what's this Pugot doing? And all my mates were like, what? And I was like, what's this? And when you get less confident, you realise you've said something wrong. I was like, yeah, what's this Pugot doing? And they were like, it's Peugeot. It's a silent T. You're a dickhead. And I was like, yep, that's... when you think, you're like, yeah, immediately. I was like, I've been saying that wrong for 5 years. And I didn't tell them that I've been saying it wrong for 5 years, but they knew. They knew that I had no idea. And now every time we go past a Peugeot, oh, look at the pew got. And I'm like, yep, you know what? But I've got to the point now where you got to steer into the skid. You can't fight it. I mean, if you're a dickhead, now I just yell pew got every time I see a Peugeot. So yeah, that's that. I can't pronounce shit. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So these guys who thought of the mannequin challenge thing, I think they did the first one themselves. It's genius marketing. Like, I would have never ever heard that song unless for this mannequin challenge. So they made a video of them freezing to their song, and then it just took off. And I'm like, well, that's genius. I mean, I need to make like some viral trend, and then my page would just go nuts. And all right, so I'm gonna make a catchy R&B song, and then I'll be like, and this is just me freezing. You can't hear silence. That is the dumbest shit I've ever said. Anyway, that's how what was I even talking about? The video. Let's do a backtrack. I was talking about my video, which is the mannequin challenge, and then I was like, why did I do the mannequin challenge video? Then I was like, man, it's bullshit when people go, oh, Luke, people message me, Luke, you kind of go off track sometimes in your podcast. No, I don't. Except for now and all the time, okay? It's not fair. Okay, here's what I was talking about. Because I was talking about doing a video when I wasn't supposed to, so I was supposed to be writing my show. Alright, so yeah, the show is getting real. I just kind of realized it hit me this week, and I was like, oh, okay, it's December, and my show is early next year. So it's like April in Melbourne, and then I'll be touring it after that. So I've still got a bit of time, actually. But I'll be going away with, like, I'll be going around the country and stuff before that. So yeah, it's gonna be, I'm gonna pretty much get my show written by like late January, and then make it, and then perform it and make it good. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how the material's coming along. I was supposed to take this week off just to write it, and I couldn't resist. I did a gig, and man, it was cool. But because I run a gig that's near my house. Like, I run a comedy room that's near my house that's once a month, and I usually, I perform there pretty regularly, and I never really smash it. Like, I feel, because it's like some of my high school mates come, and I kind of know, like, half the crowd. Like, I know, like, I have some people on, those people you have on Facebook, but you're, like, from primary school. So it's just weird. Like, I do it right there, but I never really smash it. And then this week, I just went up there with nothing to lose. I was like, I'm just going to try new stuff, see if people like it. Went up there with, like, a couple of notes on stage, and I was like, hey, guys, I should have recorded it. It was really funny, actually. Some bikie came, and, like, they revved his bike right outside the venue, and I was like, oi, shut up! And then I thought he was going to come in, and I got really scared, and that was, like, half my set. But anyway, I should have recorded that one. Sometimes I forget to record the gigs. I'm sorry. I usually record it for the podcast, but, oh well, yeah, so I went on stage with just nothing to lose, and man, it went really well. You know what's shit? I'm way funnier when I don't try to be. Like, I just get up on stage and I just be myself and start joking around, talking to people and stuff, and I'm so much funnier. So, like, when I go up there, I'm like, I'm gonna make these people laugh, and I'm like, hi, I'm Luke, and I just fucking suck. But, yeah, it was really fun, and I'm really happy with how the new material went. I tried stuff on stage that I literally thought of that day, and was like, let's just go, and they went really well, so got a new bit for the show out of it. So, yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about. My show is really, like, creeping up on me. It's ages away for you guys. I just have to get everything sorted, like, 2 months before. But, yeah, I've got the title, got the poster, all registered for the comedy festival. Man, that's a pain. The minute I can get a manager or pay someone to do that shit for me, oh my god, I will. That's filling out forms, like, all the behind-the-scenes stuff in comedy, so boring. It looks really glamorous from the outset. Oh my god, he just makes videos for a living. He just talks to people in a microphone. No, you spend 5 hours a day making phone calls and reading over contracts. It sucks dick. Anyway, but yeah, I'm really happy all that stuff's done. So now I pretty much just need to write the show, and this is what brings me to, I need to book my shows around Australia in each city, but in order to do that, I need you guys to tell me where to go around Australia. I'm just thinking right now every capital city, but if there's another place, you don't live in the city, This week I actually did it. You know how I promise shit all the time on the podcast and I go, oi guys, yeah, next week I'll totally talk about conspiracy theories. Yeah, I'll research Australian slang, and I just never do. Well, this week I did it. I mean, I didn't sign up to comedy to do my homework. That's not why I'm in this. That's why I'm in this, because I don't have to do that shit. That's why I didn't study. That's why I dropped out of university, okay? Because I don't want to do shit during the week. Okay, you don't own me, so just let me do my own thing. Anyway, so this week, I actually did the thing that I said I'll do last week. I was like, yeah, I'll get the mailing list sorted before next week's podcast. And honestly, I laughed to myself, because I was like, it's not going to be sorted by next week's podcast. That's a 3-week away thing. But I did it. Well, I didn't do it. I got a shout out to my main man, Stefan, who does all my website stuff. Last night, it took forever, but we got there. Well, he got there. I just sat there and just patted his dog for like an hour. Well, he just did shit for me. But yeah, we got it done, and the mailing list is up on my website, www.lukekidgell.com. That's all you have to type in. It's the very first page. It's the first thing you'll see. I'm going to go on it now, and we're going to do it together. Let's do a tutorial on how to sign it. It's so easy. I don't need a tutorial. It'll take you like 20 seconds. So you go on my website, www.lukekidgell.com, and it comes up as the home screen, and it says sign up below for news, chlamydia, and info on upcoming shows. So if you want either of those 3 things, news, chlamydia, or info on the shows, definitely sign up to the emailing list. If you don't want chlamydia, maybe give it a miss. But, you know, it's not guaranteed chlamydia if you sign up. It's just an option that you might get. Like, the likelihood of you actually retracting chlamydia from my email is really unlikely. So really, you're just signing up for the news and the info about upcoming shows. But really, the reason why I want you guys to sign up, I'm seriously, like, if you're worried about, I don't want to sign up to a mailing list, like, literally will not email you. Like, it's literally just, I'll email you when the tickets come out, and I think you get a welcome email. It's like I wrote a funny welcome email when you sign up. But yeah, other than that, I'll literally just email you when the tickets go on sale, and that's pretty much it. And also, any email I send to you guys, and it'll be like once every 3 months, will be funny. Like, it's not going to be like a burden on your life. And if you don't want to read it, just don't open it. So yeah, the reason why I want people to sign up who are interested in coming to my shows next year is because I want to know where the people are who are actually interested in coming to my shows. So sign up with your city. So it's just like email address, name, and city. And then it gives me an idea of how many people in each city actually like want to come see me live. So that'd be a really cool thing to have. And then I know what size rooms to book. And it does help me a lot. So yeah, it only takes a couple of minutes. Every email will be funny. It'd be awesome if you could all go sign up now. I can wait. I'll just sit here waiting. You do it now. Go www.lukekidgell.com. Write in your name. You can also write in your credit card details, just so I can, you know, exploit you, take all your money and leave you bankrupt. But, oh, really, that's all you're joining. I mean, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen, that I just take all your money and leave you completely broke, homeless on the street, pretty worth it for the funny emails every 3 months. You've got to make sacrifices, you know, you can't just it's, you know, everything, there's a catch for everything. In this case, though, in all seriousness, actually no catch. Just sign up. I literally just want to know where you live. I just realized how creepy this is. The only reason why I've made this mailing list is to find out where people who like my shit live. Don't tell me your address, just want to know your city. So that's pretty much it for the mailing list. Definitely sign up to there during the week, or do it now. It'd be awesome. And yeah, I'd love to see you at a show. That'd be cool. So next year, the shows will probably be late May, early June around Australia, and April. And yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about the title. I'm excited about just performing for an hour in front of you guys. It's going to be awesome. It's definitely going to be the most fun I've ever had on stage, I assume. So yeah, what did I want to talk about next? Oh yeah, this week I heard the most Australian sentence of all time. Last week I was talking about Australian slang, and I can't believe this one didn't come up. So Clara, still don't know how to pronounce your name, but no one expects me to anymore. That's the thing. So yeah, I heard the most Australian thing you can ever say. So if any overseas listeners, you want to know how to speak Australian, this is it. Start every sentence with, I'm not racist, but... And then the person goes on to say something incredibly racist. Man, no one's ever started that sentence, I'm not racist, but, and then not said something racist. No one ever goes, I'm not racist, but people keep telling me I am, and it really hurts my feelings. Like, it's always, I'm not racist, but, man, these Muslims are just like, oh, and you're like, dude, not technically a race, it's a religion. But yeah, it's the most Australian thing you can ever say. Like, there's nothing more Australian than just... Oi, Pauline! And you're like, yeah, I'm not racist, but... And then while they're doing this, they're sticking their dick in a jar of Vegemite. Yeah, look, man, I'm not racist, but it's just these people, they're coming on a boat, and it's got nothing to do with the fact they're brown. We're just full, mate. Like, it's nothing to do with that they're brown. I mean, I don't like the pigmentation of their skin, but I'm not racist, man. That's not... And then you're like, oi, Vegemite's halal. And then they go, oh, shit. And then they just die. But yeah, I actually heard this during the week. Like, that's why I thought of it. Some guy, I was out and about, and some guy, I think there was just like a brown dude or an Indian dude ordering a drink, and he pushed in front, and this white guy turns around his mate and goes, look, I'm not racist, but man, like, he just pushed in front. And I was like, dude, no one was gonna call you racist. You're just complaining because the guy was a dick. Him being Indian had nothing to do with it. He's like, I'm not racist, but this guy just pushed in front of me. I mean, you just brought the color of his skin into the situation for no reason. That guy's just a dick. He's Indian, but he's just a dick. He pushed in front of you. Just be like, oi, I don't like it when that guy pushed in front of me. And then your mate will be like, yeah, that was rude. But don't be like, I'm not racist, but your mate wasn't going to turn around and be like, oh, you prick. You need to let an Indian push right in front of you, okay? It's 2016. Indian men can just cut the lines whenever they want. I think it's people say I'm not racist, but because they have a fear of people accusing them of being racist, because it's 2016. And if you say, like, if you look at a fruit bowl, and you're like, oh, man, see that pear over there? And the guy's like, yeah. And he goes, it looks a bit off, don't you reckon? And your mate's like, no, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. You're like, no, look at the colour of it, man. And he goes, I didn't see colour. You're like, no, dude, it's completely brown. Look, it's mouldy. Oh, it smells a bit too. And he's like, mate, how not acceptable, okay? A, I do not see colour, okay? B, just because it's brown, it doesn't mean it smells, okay? That's just a stereotype. It's not on, mate. It's just not on. And you're like, dude, I was just talking about the fruit. And he goes, no, it's 2016. Unacceptable. And you're like, all right, well, what about that yellow banana? And he goes, oh, you can't call them yellow? It's not to its face. That's a horrible thing to say. And you're like, what, dude, I'm just talking about a banana. And you're like, oh, all right, then, what about that orange? It's pretty orange. And he goes, yeah, orange, man. She looks like a bit of a slut. And you're like, yeah, that is a bit of a slut. Old slutty orange. Hey, come over here. Orange. Hey. And that metaphor really fell apart at the end. The point is, people, I think, they have a genuine fear of being called a racist, man. Just, you can be like, you can hate on an Indian dude for being a shit dude. You don't hate on him because he's Indian. Like, don't be like, oi, this curry muncher just pushing the line, eh? Like, that's pretty racist. Actually, is that racist? No, it is. No, because if someone came up to me and was like, oi, Lamington muncher, just pushing the line, eh? I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, just give us a pavlova. Oi, Anzac biscuit, dickhead. Got a Tim Tam for us? You 4 and 20 meat pie, dickhead? And I'd be like, oh, I wish, man. That sounds really good. Oi, want some golden gay times? I don't know. I can't think of any more Australian foods. We don't have any. We're the least cultured society in the world, which is probably why we are so racist. We're just jealous. We're like, oi, like you see in Asia, like, oi, dim sim. You're like, fuck, I wish we thought of dim sims. They're delicious. Man, I think people just need to start being jealous of other races because they have better shit than us. I just solved racism, everyone. Give Luke a pat on the back. That's all we need, solve racism. Let's just start thinking of better shit. And then we don't have to be jealous all the time. We don't have to give wogs, oh man, you a team, bro? You like pizza? You're like, yeah, he does. Pizza's delicious. You like it too. Domino's is shit. But like, you know what I mean? Pizza's good. Yeah, I just solved racism. I reckon I'm done for the podcast. I can just wrap it up here. I do have to answer your questions though. But yeah, well, now that I've solved racism, this next bit can suck. So I'm just going to answer some questions poorly, and we'll just wrap it up. Alright, the first question was from Jonathan. Hey man, question for the podcast. Do you like music? If so, what is your favourite style of music / artist? I love your stuff. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, I love music, man. This is actually a little known fact about me, only because I've never made it known. People who know me know it. Actually, I think I may have talked about it once in the podcast. It might have been on one of the guest episodes. Anyway, in high school, I used to be in a band. I'm not talking like high school year 9 band, like in music class. I'm talking like year 12, old enough to know better type band. Like we used to, that's what I wanted to do actually before comedy. I wanted to be in a touring band. That was like my dream for probably like 5 years of my life. And then I completely fell in love with comedy and never looked back. But I think I've just always liked the idea of performing. Probably I'm a show-off. But yeah, actually, no, I have talked about it because I talked about that I used to make jokes in between the songs, and then I never realized I was doing comedy. Yeah, I have talked about this. But yeah, we were like a pop rock kind of like... We all like different music kind of thing. So we kind of just blended and became this weird pop rock. You know what? We were shit, but we weren't that shit. Like we sucked. Like a hard level of sucking, but mainly because I was in the band, and I was like definitely the least talented in the band, and we all knew it, and I knew it, and it was completely open about it. Like, because I used to play guitar, I still do. I play guitar, and then my mate is way better than me at guitar. My other mate is way better than me at guitar and sings. So I was like, oh, I'll play bass. I was that guy. I was like the bassist is the worst position in the band. Everyone knows that. So I was like, yeah, I'll play bass, and then that was a thing. We were in a band. I completely kind of forgot about that. We were called Sunday Heist. I think the Facebook page is still up. So, man, if you want to go have a stalk of some old Luke in a band photos, definitely go do that. Sunday Heist. What a meme. Anyway, what was the question? Oh, yeah, what style of music are you into? It's so lame. I hate talking about this. It's like when someone goes through your iPod, you're like, piss off. I like the music that I like. Go away. Shut up. I think I like, and I'm gonna get so much shit for this. My favorite bands were like pop punk bands. Like I was a massive pop punk kid. I like favorite band. I still have a framed poster, like a frame sign thing on my wall of Blink-182. They are my favorite band of all time. Love Blink. I like Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco. I haven't really listened to those for a while now. I kind of just listen to I'm listening to a lot of pop, like a lot of. Kind of like, it's weird, man. I went to Rufus's concert. I've been to the 1975. I went to Fall Out Boy. I've been to the Foo Fighters. I just like rock, I think. I like just pop rock in general, I think, is what I like. But I also like DJs. Like, I went to Hardwell. I just really like music. I like all styles. I've been getting into... I hate myself. But I've been converted to Aussie rap. Because freaking Lewis, we always... played in the car because I'm like, I don't mind it, so I just played in the car, and man, Curse's new album is good. Like, it's not something I'd be traditionally into, and I'm not into all the songs, but yeah, I'm kind of getting into, if you ignore like the stereotype that Aussie rap shit and actually listen to the lyrics, some of it's pretty good. So yeah, I've been listening to a bit of everything lately to answer your question, but the main music I'm into is like all Tom DeLonge's bands. People don't know who this is. He's one of the lead singers. He's the guy who sings All the Small Things. He has a spin-off band called Angels and Airwaves. I'm into that. I'm just nerding out right now. But I'm really into music. It's definitely my second favorite thing in the world, probably. I still listen to a bunch of local Aussie bands. Actually, here's what we're going to do to answer your question. Let's go look. I'm taking the microphone. We're going rogue now. A tour around Luke's bedroom. I'm going to go look at my CD rack. We've got Chili Peppers albums, Green Day. You know what's lame? I gave that shit... people who went to Lewis's Brisbane show last year will have seen me give shit to a kid for wearing a Green Day shirt. And I like Green Day. But yeah, I wouldn't wear one of their shirts to a comedy show, mate. Not cool. I know he listens to the podcast as well, which is funny. Good Charlotte albums. The first album I ever bought was Good Charlotte's Young and the Hopeless, which is pretty much every person's first album. Man, I have a So Fresh album in here. That's like people in Australia will know what So Fresh is. It's like a compilation album of hits. What else we got here? All American Rejects, Jet Get Born. That's a banger album. Yeah, I'm such a pop punk kid. I've got an In Excess album here. Greatest Hits. That's a banger. I just really like music. Yeah, that's all you're getting out of this. Actually, no, all you're getting out of this is I'm literally the whitest guy alive. I have the whitest taste in music. That's pretty much Memoirs of a White Guy has never been so appropriate right now. Like, I like Blink-182 and Eminem. I'm just pathetic. I also love My Chemical Romance. I really like Say Anything, a band called Say Anything. Anyway. I can sit here and list the millions of bands that I like and enjoy for hours, but I'm not going to do that. But really like music, and I'm really white. So, actually, you know what I don't like, though? That some of the white guy rap, like Drake, why? I don't get the appeal with Drake, and I know a lot of people love him, and I can't stand his music. I think he's a nice dude. He seems like a really cool guy, but I can't stand his music, and I think it's because I know he doesn't write it. Like, Kanye writes his own shit. You know, he has people working on it with him, but he has a lot of control over his own shit. Drake, I just feel like, good on him. He's just selling out. He's making loads. I can't really give him shit, but I feel like he doesn't write his own songs. He probably doesn't do anything. Like, Drake wouldn't even wipe his own asshole. Drake doesn't even train his own Pokemon. You know, like, he just gets someone else to do everything for him. That'd be sick. Imagine if you get someone to do the first 8 gyms with you, and like, you know, you go through the entire Kanto, and then you get to the Victory Road, and you're like, yeah, I'll just take it over from here, and then you beat the Elite Four, and you take the glory. That is literally Drake's career. He's just like, yeah, I've made it, I'm successful, and you're like, bro, you didn't endure Whitney's mill tank. You didn't get rollout just all over your ass just for 30 minutes straight trying to beat that gym. Actually, that's not in Fire Red, is it? That's in Emerald. Anyway, I'm getting my Pokemon games confused. The point is, I just don't like Drake. I think he's a bit of a... I mean, so many people are getting angry at me right now. Like, you don't say shit about Drake. You're like, no, I don't care, man. I'm white. I can do what I want. Next question. This is from Lucy. Hey, Luke, I'd never listened to any podcast before I listened to yours, as I never really got the point. I absolutely love Memoirs of a White Guy. I've spent the day listening to all of them and suggesting them to some of my friends. Holy shit. That is like a day. I mean, there's like 10 episodes now. That's at least 5 hours. That's over... No, that's more. That's about 6 hours. Thank you very much, Lucy. That's dedication. Question number 1. There's 2 here. As I'm from the UK, and I noticed you have said you probably won't be doing a gig in the UK anytime soon, where do you recommend visiting in Melbourne? And where do you advertise your shows so I know when you've got one on if I get a chance to visit? Okay, 2 good questions. Yeah, look, like, I would love to go to the UK. The first minute I could sell a show in the UK, I will absolutely come there, because a lot of people message me from there. So, yeah, I mean, I literally go around the world if I could. So, where do you recommend visiting in Melbourne? Just Melbourne, the city. The city's not bad. I kind of like it. My favourite city, though, is Sydney. Like, the city, like the harbour and stuff. Just, you wouldn't want to live in Sydney, but Melbourne's great. Go to the game of footy. Go to the MCG. Go to Fed Square. I don't really do touristy stuff. You know how, like, you just don't do touristy stuff in your own city? So I'm not really good, probably not really good at giving advice on what actually to do in Melbourne. What's good to do? You can go walk along the Yarra. Go see a show. We have, like, the best arts and culture. Literally go see a comedy show. Yeah, if I'm playing, come. Like, it'll be the best shit you've ever seen. But there's heaps of comedy always happening. There's heaps of theatre always happening. There's always heaps of music. Just see the Melbourne nightlife. Melbourne nightlife's good, I reckon. It's just chill. You go to bars and... I mean, it's probably like everywhere in the world. But, yeah, visit Melbourne. Where do I would stay in the city. And you can walk around. And our public transport's pretty good as well. And part 2 of the question, where do you advertise your shows? So, if you sign up to my mailing list, which you all can do from anywhere in the world, you'll obviously know I'm there, but I will add, as soon as the shows get announced, I just haven't added it yet, I'll add a shows tab, like a shows page to my website. Currently on my website, there's only 4 pages. There's home, which is the mailing address. There's the podcast, which if you want to listen to the podcast on your laptop while you're doing something, the podcast is free on my website, just www.lukekidgell.com. And there's the 3rd tab is me holding muffins. And it is just a picture of me holding muffins. Throwback to a 2013 bake sesh. So, yeah, if you want to see a picture of me holding a muffin, that was funny. And then a contact page. So, yeah, there'll be a shows page at the top soon where I announce all my shows, and there'll be ticket links there. And, yeah, but if you sign up to the mailing list, you'll be the very first ones to know, so you definitely won't miss out on a ticket, and you'll be the first to hear it announced, because I may do some pre-sales on there as well. So definitely sign up to my mailing list if you want to know when I'm doing a show near you. I seriously won't, and also, if I'm not coming to your city, I won't email you, so I'll only email you if I'm actually coming to you, usually. In saying that, though, I can't promise it, but I'll try and work out how to do that. Cool, thanks for the question, Lucy. Oh, I think that was a part 2. She said part 2 to her questions. Memoirs of a White Guy, and as of chapter 7 of Lewis Spears' podcast, are the only podcast I listen to. Can you recommend any others? Okay, so she listens to mine and Lewis's podcast. There's so many great podcasts out there. If you just go on, if you're into comedy, go to the comedy charts. And so the best podcast, my favorite podcast from Australia, is Hamish and Andy. I love them. I've been obsessed with them since I was 10. And so that's a radio show. It's a drive radio show here in Australia. And it's pretty much their radio show without the ads, without the music, in a podcast. It's fantastic. They're two very funny guys. So I'd recommend Hamish and Andy. But yeah, I should be. I've got heaps of mates who have podcasts, and I should be plugging them. I just forget. But yeah, I'm sure there's heaps of great podcasts in the UK. I think that's where you're from. Yeah. Just go on and you'll find heaps. Just read the description of them. And look, and trust me, not all podcasts are as shit as this. People don't realize. I think people listen to my podcast and go, oh, they all must suck. Nah, it's just this one. So yeah, if you want a good podcast, go. The sky's the limit, but at the same time, please don't ditch this one. I need your Lucy. I need all the listeners I can get. I do really appreciate you listening though. What time are we at? 31. I can answer a few more. I'm feeling good. Let's do it. Kyle. Hey mate, got a question for the podcast. Where did you do your first stand-up gig, and did the crowd know it was your first time performing? God, good question. Okay, so I don't think I've ever really talked about my first gig much. My first gig, it was at a venue called the Imperial Hotel in Melbourne. It's near Parliament Station, and I went there at the start, it's pretty hard when you know nobody in comedy. You just have to rock up and start talking to people and be like, hey, I'm Luke, I'm really interested in getting up. Have you got any spots for me? And they always say no. So I went to this room that was a sign-up room. And you sign up your name, and then there's only a limited amount of spots, so people get drawn out of a hat. I went for 3 weeks in a row and didn't get drawn out of the hat. And do you know how bad that was? I was so nervous already getting up there doing the first gig I'd ever done. And I'd built myself up all day. I'm like, yep, tonight's the night. I'm going to get on stage. I'm just going to do it. And then I get there and I sign up. And then they don't call my name. And I go home and I'm like, well, maybe next week. But yeah, then the 4th week, I got my name picked out. And I was like, shit, this is it. And I went up there. And luckily for me, the MC who was running the night did announce to the audience that it was my first time performing, which means everyone is really generous, and that it literally lowers their expectations. No one's expecting much. So yeah, if you're ever doing your first gig, definitely tell the MC or the guy who's running the night that it's your first ever time, and they usually say something. So then the audience was really supportive. I didn't even bomb in my first gig. It was weird. I was surprised. I was like, I'm going to get silence for 5 minutes. It's going to be the worst 5 minutes of my life. It wasn't. It was the 3rd gig. I ate shit. But yeah, it's good. It was awesome fun, man. The first time, it was easily the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. And people always ask me, do you still get nervous? And I think it takes about 10 to 15 times. But at the same time, there are points where you still get nervous. For the other night, for some reason, because I was going up to try new stuff in front of just a crowd of people who I half knew, I was a bit nervous. And then as soon as I got on stage, you literally forget about it all, and you get into a real rhythm. And when you're that comfortable on stage, you might be a bit nervous before, but as soon as you start, you're good as gold. So yeah, good question, Kyle. That was the first stand-up gig. And man, the material I was doing at that gig was so shit. I don't even remember any of it. I just remember I started talking about Back to the Future, and I do not remember the joke at all. And my girlfriend she was really supportive, and credit to her, she came to watch, And I'm like, oh, I think it made it worse a bit because I was like, I don't want to bomb in front of one of my mates who was also there and my girlfriend. So, yeah, that's not what you want. But, alright, last question. It's from Magdalena. And you know what's funny? People know I'm a dumbass now. She's included the pronunciation in the email. She goes, also, for future reference, it's pronounced Magdalena. Because I'm an idiot. But you know what, though, Magdalena? I appreciate that, because I would have pronounced it wrong. 100%. I would have been like, Magdalena emailed in, and you would have been listening like, oh my god, that's not how you say my name, you idiot. But, yes, thank you for including pronunciation. I would recommend that. If you're ever sending me an email about anything, include pronunciation, because I'm an illiterate dickhead. Says, hello, Luke. I've been listening to your podcast and watching your stuff for about 2 weeks now, and I love it lots. I especially like it. Oh, wait. I especially like to listen. See, I can't even read. I especially like to listen to you talk when I draw or paint, because it somehow eases my anxiety about messing up. Unfortunately, I cannot watch you live as I do not live in Australia, but you're welcome to visit us here in Sweden. Man, why don't any Australian people message me questions? It's always overseas people. You Australian people need to start picking up your game. You're taking it for granted, okay? Alright, what's the next part of her email? You're welcome to visit us here in Sweden when you become extremely famous, which we all know is coming. Man, I'd have to be very famous to be touring Sweden. That may be a while away. The question for the podcast is, how do you think / would want the year 2016 to end, seeing as we had lots of fucked up shit happening this year? Clowns, Trump, technically also can classify as a clown, but a different type. Oh, very good, because Trump's an idiot. Everyone kind of placing their bets on how 2016 is going to end. What do you think? Also, please keep the bird stories coming. They're the kind of content we all need right now. Love from Sweden. People love the bird stories. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to start talking about birds. Here's the thing. I noticed this week, I went to the beach. I went on a road trip. Just went down to the beach with a couple of mates. And I noticed how arrogant birds are getting. Oh my god. So you know how you're driving towards a bird and they're on the road and they're usually about 20 meters away, they just fly up and get out of the road. Man, we were going like 80k down the road and we saw this bird from ages off and I'm like, this bird is no match for a car. It's a bird. And then it just stayed there and I was like, whoa, this bird is playing chicken. Ironically, because it wasn't a chicken. Oh, that's not ironic. It's just, this bird was impersonating a chicken. So it wasn't moving and I was like, this is a stubborn bird. And then it ran further into the middle as the car approached. And I was like, this is one arrogant bird. And then at the very last minute, we're talking like it almost hit the car and it just flew away. And I'm like, mate, next time, you know what I mean? You're going to be pizza on the road. Just a pancake. And that's on you, hombre. That's not me. I slowed down to 70 to let it go. If I'd have kept on going 80, this bird would have been like fox food. Man, and you know what? Birds can't be affording to be cocky these days or arrogant. We all know from this podcast alone that they're getting fat and clumsy. So the last thing they need to be doing is being arrogant, standing in the middle of the road, thinking they're not a bird. Like, oh, we can fly, we can get out of the way. Yeah, do it earlier. Don't freak me out. I don't want a bird pancake on my windscreen, okay? So that's my bird rant for this week. Weekly bird rants with Luke Kidgell on should be called Memoirs of a Weird Bird Freak. That would be a more accurate title of this podcast. What was your question? Oh, how do I want 2016 to end? With birds being less arrogant. I want birds to just chill out and start having a bit more respect for humans. We're the top of the food chain. Who do you think you are, bird? He was an Indian miner. He was just cutting. These Indians, man, they just keep cutting lines. They're getting arrogant everywhere they go. Oh, you curry munch a bird. Get out of the way, you. Oh man, what's this is what happens at the end. The podcast starts off so well, and then like 35 minutes in, oh shit, he's gonna start talking about birds. Oh man. Okay, how do I actually want 2016 to end? For me, I want 2016 to end with me being a successful comedian, people coming to my show next year, and joining my mailing list at www.lukekidgell.com. But I actually want... Here's the thing, I don't want anything else to happen. I'm sick of all the clown shit, sick of the mannequin challenge, sick of Trump. If we could just have Christmas, and everyone just buys presents for their family, and we all sit down and watch Tim Allen Christmas films, and then we watch Elf with Will Ferrell in it, and then we all avoid watching The Polar Express, because that's a shit film. That'd be a great Christmas. That'd be the terrific end to the year, and we all go, Happy New Year! And then that's how I want 2016 to end. That's just nice and less shit happening. But something else is going to happen. What's the date today? I don't know dates. December 5th. We've still got 25 days. Of course something's going to happen. There's going to be a new thing next week. And, man, you know what? It's 40 minutes in, and I realize I've still got heaps more stuff to talk about on the podcast. Do I talk about it next week? Or do I... You know what, guys? You're getting a longer podcast today because I have a ripping story to tell. So, Magdalena, I hope that answers your question. I literally am so sick of all the things that are happening. I just want 2016 to end like normal. Just everyone goes, when it's 2017, and everyone comes to my show. So, yeah, that's the answer. Not a great answer, but I really want to tell this story. I'm sorry, I got distracted easy. I was supposed to talk about this at the start. Okay, I'll try and wrap it up as soon as possible. So, last night... It was about 3 a.m. and I was sleeping, obviously. Standard thing to do at 3 a.m. And I felt a little tickle on my face, like a little chin tickle. And I was like, I just put my arm up. I was like, oh, is that a chin tickle? And, you know, you dozed off, you're sleeping. And I was like, oh, that's a little tickle. And then the tickle moved up my forehead slowly. And at this point, you're like you're asleep and you're not really processing this as well as you should. But at no part of the day, and especially at 3 a.m., there's no such thing as a good 3 a.m. tickle. If it's no matter what's on your face, if it's an itch, if it's someone going, oh, tickle fight, that's how you end up in a courtroom. 3 a.m. tickles are not on. No good, like people say nothing good happens after 2 a.m. That's correct. No good tickles happen after 2 a.m. And this was 3 a.m. And I was like, oh no, I got a tickle. And then I was like, bang. Just hit my face with my hand, and then this spider, I saw it. It was like the spider just leapt off my face, and I'd never moved so hard in my life. And it was a big one, like in Australia. This is the most Australian story. It wasn't a huntsman, it was a bit smaller, but it was a decent-sized spider, and I've never shat myself harder in my life. Not little, I probably like had a head of a shit coming out as in fear. But yeah, I've never gotten up that quickly in my life. I turned on my light, and then everything just froze. It was me, the spider that was on my head. That's the thing that nightmares are made of. Waking up with a spider crawling over your eye is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, without a doubt. My heart was, I can't even describe how, and I went full Ron Weasley. I was just freaking out. I was like, and like it was literally, I felt like I was in like the Dark Forest or whatever it is at Hogwarts, and I was just like in a blue car but I wasn't. I was just in my bed and it was pretty small. But yeah, I'm a bit of a soft cock. But anyway, here's the thing. At this point, there's two things. Well, no, there's only one option really, because you can't go to sleep. If you lose the location of that spider, I can't sleep in my room. I've got to burn my bed, got to burn my sheets, burn the house down. There's no point. We're moving out now. Like, if that spider gets lost under my bed and I can't find it, we're gone. That's move countries. That's ridiculous to even consider staying in the country after that. So I was like, I grabbed the shoe. There was a shoe on my floor, and it was the closest thing that I could kill it with. And then I was like, I got one shot at this. And because it was a pillow squash, I was worried that I'd hit it, then the spider wouldn't get squashed, and the impact would be it wouldn't be enough with the pillow. And I was like, I gotta just give it the hardest slap. And I just mauled the shit out of this spider. Sorry to any animal activists listening, but I just crushed this thing. It was literally like, I envisioned the bird on the road, and I was like, oh, you piece of Indian curry bunch of shit, and then just went bang. and killed this spider on my pillow, and it was like a big juicy spider, and it oozed out onto my pillow, and I had to change it. I couldn't sleep with that pillow anymore. I just burnt it. Like, that pillow's gone, and the spider, like, guts oozed out, and I didn't sleep for 2 hours. I didn't get to sleep till 4 a.m. So that's what, because, like, I've never done something as masculine as that. Well, not really. It was very feminine and masculine at the same time. It was confusing. And because I was scared, but I was also felt manly for dealing with it in a bitchy way, but I still dealt with it, which is manly. But yeah, that was my story. I had a spider on my face, and it was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. That's probably my biggest fear now. It's not spiders. I'm not really that scared of spiders. It's waking up with one in your eyeball. That's my biggest fear. Well, cool. That's the story I wanted to tell. The rest I can talk about next week. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to the podcast. Make sure you leave a review on iTunes. That'd be awesome. There's only like one person left a review this week, so let's keep that ball rolling. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, make sure you go join the mailing list, www.lukekidgell.com. It'll take like 20 seconds. You get a funny welcome email, and you're part of like a cult. Like, that's what you get for joining a mailing list. You just become like, you could be signing up and I'll be like, yeah, it's for my comedy show, and you're just a Scientologist. And that's the thrill that you'll get. You might get, you'll find out, actually, you find out what cult you've joined when you get the welcome email. So, yeah, but totally go sign up. It's all about my upcoming tours. You're not joining a cult at all. Wink. You can't see a wink on the podcast. All right, that's the end of the podcast. This is officially the longest podcast I've ever done. So if you're still listening right now, thank you very much. Your support does mean the world to me. If you're interested in coming to a show, sign up to the mailing list. And actually, here's the thing. Didn't have an instrument at the start. At the start, I was playing a esophagus. But or during the week, I left my harmonica on the desk where I record my podcast. The broken harmonica from last week, I left it on my desk. And this week, because when you're trying to focus on stuff, people who know this, people who are doing exams, they'll get procrastination. I was like, this week I'm going to sit down at my desk and write my show. I'm going to fix all these bits that need fixing. I've been meaning to do it for months. Let's just do it all. So I sat down at my desk, got a pen out, and then immediately looked at the harmonica. And then I was like, you know what I should do this week? Learn the Rocky theme song on harmonica. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I seriously sat down for hours this week. I was just playing the Rocky theme song, and it's not good, I'll admit, but I'm going to play it out. The Rocky theme song on broken harmonica ended with a bit of natural esophagus. So thank you very much for listening. I'll see you next week. That was my entire week this week. That. So if someone goes, "Oi, what did you do this week, Luke?" Alright, thanks very much for listening, guys. I'm sorry I had to hear that.